Hi everyone, it's Chris. From the construction of airports to mysterious secret bases, here are 8 fascinating conspiracy theories. Number 8. The purpose of Denver International Airport. If you look at the most interesting conspiracy theories, you'll find that many of them are actually based on curiosities and weirdness that hasn't been fully explained, which is a perfect description for Denver's International Airport. So what's so strange about this airport? Well, a better question might be, what isn't strange about this airport? First and foremost, the construction of it is unlike that of any other airport out there. Talk to anyone who has been to this airport, and you'll hear how it's not exactly user-friendly, which is another issue for the airport: location. While it's logical to have an airport somewhat outside of its hub city, this airport is actually 25 miles away from the city of Denver. That's a very large gap between the two, and there's no logical reason for that to be the case. So what's the real purpose of this airport? Well, conspiracy theorists state that the building of the airport was actually a cover for making a large underground network. But for what purpose? Well, some say that it's a fallout bunker for the rich and powerful should nuclear war hit. Others say that it's the headquarters for a new world order. This may seem random until you look at the art that is upon the walls of the airport. Unlike many paintings within such buildings, the context is very dark. From death to genocide to the destruction of whole cities, it's as if it's predicting the end of the world, and thus stating that the building itself will save those who come to it. Numerous conspiracy theories and shows have dove into what Denver International Airport really is, and the truth is just waiting to be revealed. Number 7. Illuminati. One of the most common and base conspiracy theories out there is that there's a group plotting from behind the curtain, intent on taking over the world and control it themselves. One of the biggest groups to be doing this is the Illuminati. The most interesting thing about the Illuminati is that despite people claiming that they don't exist or never existed, we know that they were a group, at least at one point in time. In fact, it's well documented that they did exist at one time. They were born in the 18th century in the country of Bavaria by a man named Adam Weishaupt. Weishaupt had the belief that the church, specifically the Pope depending on what you believe, shouldn't have a grand effect on everyday life and the people of the world. Taking cues from the Freemasons, he set up the society with a hierarchy, special rituals, and a distinct list of qualifications to be allowed into the group, including not being over the age of 30. If you were likely already poisoned by the world, and due to their higher enlightenment, they were dubbed the Illuminati. What happened after their true creation is up for debate, but nowadays they are blamed for many wrongs in the world. The internet is a reason people still think they're alive and plotting to change the world and then rule it. But why is it so fascinating? Well, that's honestly because of the simple fact that many people believe that this group exists, either in part or in whole as described by many theories. And to have such beliefs, well, that makes it powerful even if it's not real. And now for number 6, but if you're new here, I want to say hi. And be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell. We have lots and lots of new videos coming up. Number 6. Dulce Base. You will find that a lot of conspiracy theories out there have to do with the military in one form or another. But when it comes to secret bases that have conspiracies around them, 2 come to mind the most, and one of them is in New Mexico. And it's called Dulce Base. We know this base exists. It was built into a mountain in New Mexico by the Air Force. As for what they're doing at the base, that's where the conspiracy theory comes in, because according to both townsfolk and local legends, they're doing genetic experiments, and really bad ones. One of the biggest proofs of this is that Dulce, New Mexico, which is near the base, has a terrible record of having their cattle mutilated. In fact, it's been going on for decades. Which begs the question, what's mutilating the cattle? Weirdly, this is only the beginning of the conspiracy. For many feel that it's not just humans in the base, it's aliens as well. And they're working together to make a hybrid race that will be used for war. Is that random? Well, maybe, but a lot of people in the area have seen some weird things around the base. And anyone who seems to be talking about the base in any way that isn't pleasing to the CIA and the government get discredited with extreme prejudice. Is that a coincidence? Maybe something more. Number 5. Subliminal messaging. There was a movie in the 80s called They Live, where a man wore a special pair of sunglasses and saw the truth of the world, that people were being influenced by their everyday items into doing things that other beings wanted them to do. Or in short, they were getting subliminal messages and then obeying them. This movie helped give form to a conspiracy theory that is still going on today, that TV, movies, music, comics, and more are using subtle messages to influence you and make you do things. Now, the idea of subliminal messaging is actually factual. In fact, you see it all the time with movie ads and television commercials. They show you products in such a way that they try and show you that you need to see this or that you need to get this. But the conspiracy is that the government and other bodies are doing it too, and that they're trying to control you. The reason it's so fascinating, though, is that it's sometimes gone to incredible lengths to be proven. In fact, a couple of bands have been sued for use of subliminal messaging that resulted in people's deaths. The problem, though, is that while subliminal messaging is true in some regards, you can never truly be hypnotized or pushed into doing things by such messages. Your brain just doesn't work like that. Not that this stops people from insisting that it does work. Number 4. The assassination of John F. Kennedy. There have been many assassinations in United States history in regards to presidents, but the most controversial and mysterious is that of the death of John F. Kennedy. On November 22, 1963, President Kennedy was shot 3 times during a parade in Texas, killing him. But the conspiracy isn't why he was killed, but rather who did it. The official killer is Lee Harvey Oswald, a man who was later killed on live TV. But many cry foul of this. There have been many who believe that Oswald was either framed for the assassination or that he had accomplices that the government doesn't want anyone to know about. Furthermore, the brain of JFK was misplaced, so analysis on it to help determine the truth is well and truly impossible. To this day, 51% of Americans believe that there is something off about this assassination. Number 3. Moon landing. There are few conspiracy theories that match up to the legend that is the moon landing hoax. Why? Because despite it being proven in a variety of ways, and even being admitted by many conspiracy theories that we have landed on the moon, they are convinced that on July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin did not land on the moon. They were in fact on a set that would give the illusion of landing on the moon and thus help the United States win the space race. What truly makes this conspiracy fascinating, though, isn't that it's still believed today. 20% of Americans actually do believe that we didn't land on the moon then, but that many theorists have used actual science to try and prove that it was a hoax. So unlike many other theories that have baseless accusations, this one actually has some brain power going into it. So much so that the series Mythbusters put their own brain power to the test to prove that we did indeed land on the moon. Still though, the belief persists. Many on this earth don't believe that we landed on the moon in 1969. And if they don't believe it now in basically 2019, 50 years later, they may never believe it. Number 2. Area 51. Easily one of the most infamous conspiracy theories in the world is that of what's going on at Area 51. It's actually kind of sad to think about how many conspiracy theories have come out of that place. The truth may be out there, but we likely won't get to know it until the government opens the doors to the Nevada base and reveals what exactly is going on inside the place. The biggest and most prevalent myth is that Area 51 is the home to fallen alien spacecraft, as well as the bodies of aliens that have crash-landed on Earth. This conspiracy technically started in many places, but it was after the Roswell incident that it grew to national popularity, and it only grew from there with each decade and each unexplained incident. People always find their way back to talking about Area 51. Easily the most iconic thing about all of this is that Area 51 is actually a real place. It was built well before Roswell and is still around today. In fact, it's heavily guarded to the point that just trying to get into the base will have you met with guards and get you immediately arrested. Weirdly, there are many non-alien theories about Area 51. And though the government has repeatedly denied all the conspiracy theories, the truth is, we really don't know what's going on in there. Which makes this conspiracy all the more fascinating, because you can't debunk what you can't prove. Number 1. Bermuda Triangle. There is a legend, one that has spanned for hundreds of years, and yet no definitive answer to this legend has ever been given. And this is the legend of the Bermuda Triangle. The triangle consists of a massive area connected by points of Bermuda, Miami, and Puerto Rico. And within this massive span of water, a lot of weird things have happened. And by weird things, I mean that countless ships and planes have gone down, never to be seen again. Now, unlike an area like the Bering Sea, which is known to have some of the roughest weather in the world, the Bermuda Triangle doesn't have that. Or at the very least, it doesn't explain much of the sinking that has gone down there. Not to mention, there have been many reports of missing craft that defy explanation, like the flight of one Carolyn Cascio in 1964, where she flew into the Bermuda Triangle, came out of it, and yet despite being right over her destination, she claimed that she wasn't. The radio transmission had her over an island, but not the one she was aiming for, and according to her, there were no buildings or people on this island, despite there being plenty of them, and many were trying to contact her. Time travel, aliens, alternate dimensions, sea monsters, and more conspiracies have been built up around the mysteries that surround the Bermuda Triangle, and more are very likely to come. Thanks for watching, guys! Which one of these conspiracy theories was your favorite? Do you believe that some of these are real? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to subscribe so I can see you next time.